welcome back to another video of jPlay. I am Marcus, and unfortunately I cannot show you Darkest Night, the second edition today. I think it will take me another couple of days or weeks, but I'm really working on it, and rest assured the experience will be awesome. Until then, I will do some other walkthroughs and playthroughs, and today, as you can see, I will focus on Magic Realm Light 30 minutes, which is a relatively light experience of the original Magic Realm. It will use some of the core rules in respect to exploration and such, but overall it should not really take much longer than maybe 30 to 40 minutes. The only three things that you need to have in order to play Magic Realm Light 30 is this piece of paper here, 2 dice, and possibly a pen or a pencil or something like that. That's basically it. And of course you need the rules, but apart from that, this is what you need in order to get the full experience of this light version of Magic Realm. For the camera, this might be a little bit dull, so I decided to come up with an own little map. I really tried to follow the rules as much as I could. Hopefully I didn't mess this up here already. I got some of those nice little icons from the internet. They're all under Creative Commons, and of course I will put the proper attribution in the description of this video. So this is basically the map, and normally you would draw the map on the player sheet. So there is a space on the player sheet here. I knocked down one of my chits here. You only have to make sure that you have 6 regions, that all of those regions are connected to at least 2 other regions. Then you would draw in the road. The road has to go through all of the regions, and then you would put in whatever the proper locations here on the board here as well. For example, a forest or a mountain. But again, I did this a little bit nicer, at least that you can see what I'm talking about. But again, everything is normally being kept on this piece of paper here. I also enlarged the denizen table here, so this will also help me to keep track of the denizens that are in play, and I really try to avoid scribble things down. Of course, the actions, I also enlarged the action tables. This is something I will really write down, but everything else I decided to do with cubes and meeples and pawns here, whatnot. I also taking those crystals here in order to show what kind of actions I've been using, what monsters are out there. So I will not paint on the map and on the sheet here too much, and I think this will be easier for you to follow what's actually going on. I decided to play as the Knight Errant. The Knight Errant roams the lands, searching for adventure and opportunities to uphold chivalry. His arrival in the Magic Realm is welcomed by many and despised by a few. He has a great heavy vulnerability. This is a good thing, so he doesn't get killed too easily. Then the abilities, he has an extra rest action. Extra actions are always nice to have, and the honor ability is also something that's great. So I can subtract 1 of a die roll here when I look up the meeting table, something I will show you when we get there. I start with 10 golds, but I think most or not all of the characters start with 10 golds. And I have a broadsword, a full plate, and a shield. And I already have some relationships. So the crone is unfriendly to me, and the pikeman even is an enemy. Apart from that, I have those 6 so-called chits, and I think there is a difference to the main game already. I think in the main game you have 12 of those. Here there are only 6, but again, this is a very stripped down version of the big brother here. I have 3 move chits and 3 fight chits, so overall the Knight Errant is a relatively pretty straightforward character to play with. Here I already prepared the 6 chits I was referring to earlier. As you can see, I will never end up in the arts department of Fantasy Flight, but this is really quick and dirty what I did this afternoon basically. And I have 3 of those movement chits, those are the yellow ones, 3 fight chits, those are the purple ones. The numbers show us how fast an action basically is. The faster I can do an action, the more effort I have to take, so those are the little asterisks here. and the letters show us for the movement how much, what armor I would be allowed to carry, for example, or which weapon I would be allowed to wield. For a knight, that's really not a problem. I think, yeah, well, I think I will be able to use all of the armor and weapons, but again, I will come to that in a second. The game lasts until the end of day 14. Here you can go for a more epic version of the game, then it would be Magic Realm Light 45 basically, but of course I will stick to the standard rules here. Again, this shouldn't really take us too long. Of course I have to explain a lot of things, so I'm pretty sure I will not cover the whole session within one video. Expect at least 2 of them, maybe even 3. I have to see how things turn out. In Magic Realm, everything is about fame, and you get fame for spells you have learned. I am not a magical character, so I won't be able to learn any spells. I think in this light version there's only the alchemist who would be able to learn a spell, so I cannot gain victory points from that, but I gain 1 victory point for each 5 fame I will be able to collect. This also includes, for example, any treasures here I will be able to find. Those are printed down there, but I will show those to you. And I get a 1 victory point for every 15 gold I will be able to collect. And basically you can only lose when you die before day 14, so this will be definitely the only losing condition. Everything else is basically you have to compare your result with an earlier result, or maybe shout it out into the internet and ask for someone else, hey, how many victory points were you able to get? Then I think we are good to go, and our knight errant will start his quest in the valley here, and the valley has already one side. This is the village. I can use the village to trade with the village, for example, to get some better weapons and such, or later on I will find some denizens which I will be able to hire, and as soon as I hire a character he follows me for 7 days and then I can hire him again. But of course everything costs gold in this game. Okay, I think let's start our day, and the very first thing you do during a day is the so-called bird song phase, which means you have to plan or pre-script your day. Here are the actions you can choose. You can hide, you can move, you can search, you can trade, you can rest, you can hire, and you can enchant. Some of those options are not available everywhere and for every character. Right now I'm not really a magical character, so enchant doesn't really make sense for me. Hiring also only makes sense if there are any denizens to hire, of course. Rest, I think I don't need to do that right now. All of my chits are neither fatigued or wounded, but surging, moving or hiding seems to be like a very good day. Keep in mind, you have to really choose the order of your actions very carefully, because you really have to go to do them in the order you wrote them down. If anything happens between whatever action 2 and 3 later on that blocks your day, then the remaining actions are basically lost for the day. In most cases that happens when you move into an area where there are monsters and you are not hidden, for example. As I want to explore the Magic Realm here, I think I will start by exploring the forest region down there, maybe trying to find a site. So the site will be either the hoard, the lair, the altar, the vault or the statue. But then I will really consider moving back to the village in order to hope that a helpful denizen show up, because it's really important to get a companion with you, because otherwise fights can be relatively tough at times. So the very first thing I would have to do would be a move action down there. Then I would do a search action in order to find the site that is present there. Then I will do another search action because I want to loot the site I hopefully will find there. And the last order or action will then be to march back into the village for the evening phase. So let's write those actions down. Okay, so the first action will be a move action, and I will move to region 5. Of course, I can only move into region where the road is leading to, unless I find a passage or something like that. The second action will be a search action. The third action will be a search action as well. And the fourth action will be a move back to M3. The roll we will do in the evening, that's basically the monster roll, but this was already the birdsong phase. So let's do the very first action. We will move down here to region number 5, which would be the forest. Next we would see what side there is here in the forest, and we would just roll a die here. Let's see what comes around. That's a 5, so we do 1 2 3 4 5. So the statue should be somewhere here in this region. Right now, that's only a rumor of the statue. So with our very first search actions, remember we had 2 of those, I would now be possibly able to find this statue here. So let's do another roll. And this time we will go for the locate table. So we would roll 2 dice. In most cases, you would roll 2 dice and choose the highest one, because high rolls are always bad in Magic Realm. So let's see. That's a 5. 5 is really bad news because it says nothing. Luckily, I still have another search action, but originally I was really hoping to do this second search action in order to loot this place, but I cannot help it. So let's locate again. And again we are unlucky. Wow, this is really tough. So again we haven't found anything. So I have to follow my fourth action, which would be a move action. And this means I have to move back here to region 3. This was basically already the daytime, so we have to do the so-called monster roll. Here are the letters or the tables that are relevant. In the valley we are relatively sure only, let's say, possible companions might show up here. So let's see. That's a 6. A 6 is down there, and here we see the village icon, and this means the warlock will appear. So we place the guy here next to the village. He will disappear before the next monster roll, but I have the entire day to buy stuff from him. He sells potions, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's correct. So I could go here for the alchemist mixture. Gold 4, that's not too expensive. We could go for the potion of energy, the draught of speed, but in most cases those base values will get doubled, tripled, or you name it. So they get a lot more expensive. So I'm not sure if I will trade with a warlock during the next daytime phase. Then we come to the evening phase. In the evening you normally have to fight monsters or denizens if you're not hidden. In this case the warlock is not really an enemy, so I can basically skip that step. So we come over to the midnight phase. So we're doing some resetting stuff, but in this case nothing really bad has happened. So basically we can directly jump into the next day and plan our next actions. And I'm really tempted to move into the cave region here. Cave regions can be tough at times, so especially when those giant bats appear, but maybe I'm lucky and I really want to see where the other sides actually are. So I think the first action will be a move 4, and then I think I will basically do the same, do a whatever, twice a search, and maybe my last action then will be to hide. I think this is what I will do. So this is what I recorded, and I reconsidered. I really want to get a companion, so I think I will again move back to the village and really hope for whatever, a swordsman or an assassin to show up. So in order, though, I could be able to hire this guy at the next day. Okie dokie, let's move into region number 4. Here we see the road, so I will be able to move into that space. I will not be able to move from M4 to M5 directly unless I find a passage or something like that, but right now that's a legal move. Next thing is that we would roll for the side here. There are only 4 sides left. That's a 3, 1, 2 and 3. So here we see the altar. Again, this is only a rumor of the altar, so I still have to find it. So why not do the locate roll, and this time I really do hope for a 4 or lower on the highest roll. Keep that in mind. Okay, this time we were lucky. We always take the highest roll. The highest roll says we just found the site. Hooray! And I think I will mark this down with this little white crystal here. So this tells me, hey, I have found this site. Now I can go ahead and loot the site. I still have another search action. And in order to loot the altar, I have to roll at most 4. Again, we are rolling 2 dice. I will halve the highest result and then I would be able to loot the first spot or the second spot. So let's see. No, we are not lucky again. Wow, I really hate this game already. So we take the highest die, we halve it. This is 2.5, and then we would round up. This would be 3. Unfortunately, the altar only has 2 slots, so after 2, it's basically over. So 1, 2, and there's nothing for 3. So we were not able to find anything at the altar yet. Wow, this really sucks. But again, my last action sends me back here to the village. This ends my actions. Now we come to the monster roll. Before we do the monster roll, the warlock will disappear. And then we roll on the table here to see who is showing up in the village. And this is the 4, and I think the 4 is the assassin. Yeah, that's correct. And this is really good news, as we will be able to hire the assassin during the next round. It's not an automatic success, but I think I have a good chance to get this guy. And really, those companions are really important in this game. But now we come into the evening phase, and unfortunately all of those possible companions might turn against us unless we are not able to hire him. Right now I'm really a nice guy. I'm a very noble knight, so I shouldn't have a big problem engaging him. So I think we will just roll against the meeting table. I don't have any relationship to the assassin, so I can go for the neutral column here. I would be able to buy this guy a drink, then I could go to the friendly level here for this roll, but I think right now I should be good. So I think I still have to roll the die. Again, these are 2 dice because I'm a very noble guy. I have the honor ability. I can subtract 1 from the highest roll. So basically nothing bad can happen here, because on a 6 here there would be trouble, so I had to roll again on the unfriendly roll, but I cannot really roll a 6 because of my honor ability. So that's a 4, that's the highest roll. I can subtract 3, and this just means the price would be 4, but I don't hire him right now. I just see if I have to engage him or not. This was basically already day 2, so now we come to the midnight phase. So we do the cleanup. So for example, any potions or the effect of any potions would wear off at this point in time, but nothing really happens there. So again, we can jump into the birdsong phase of day number 3. And here I already prepared my actions for the day. So I will do a higher action first, then I will search in my current locations. I'm really hoping for a passage into region 1 up there. Then I will move back to the cave location where I found the altar already, and there I will again try to do a loot action. So let's go for it. Before I go into negotiations, I think I will buy this guy a drink. This cost me 2 pieces of gold, and I really do apologize for the weak components here, but yeah. Nevertheless, I will use them as gold. So this allows me now to go from the neutral column into the friendly column. I'm still honorable, so I can still subtract 1 from the roll. So let's do that. That's wow, we are really unlucky. That's a 5. I can subtract 1 of this. This says a 4, so I have to pay 3 times the price what it would normally cost to hire this guy. Normally they are all available for 2 gold, so I have to pay another 6 gold to hire this guy for 7 days. But the good thing is I can take the assassin and put him onto one of my combat sections here. So this is my combat sections. These are the combat sections for my followers. I can have up to 2 of them at the same time. But I still have to mark down when I would lose the assassin. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So on day 10, I will lose the assassin. So I will mark it down like this, but I will be able to hire him right away at whatever during the daytime phase of day 11. Next thing to do on my agenda was to do a search actions, and I want to do the peering sub action basically. So I check out the peer table here, and again on a roll of 1, 2, 3 I will be able to find a passage or a clue. The clue is not really valuable here in the valley because I already found the site. This is the village. Let's see, that's a 3, that's awesome. So we were able to find a passage. So I will note it down like this. So I will do a little mark here. So I will be now able to move directly from this region into the cave region up there. Nice! As we are still trying to find some treasure, I will move here into the cave region. Again, I have pre-scripted that movement already, so I cannot freely choose. And my last action will be another loot action. So again, I have to roll 2 dice and have to divide the highest roll by 2, rounding up. And this time we are lucky. This is a 4 divided by 2. This means I am able to find the second slot of this altar here. Awesome! These are the 12 different treasures I will be able to find. I will just roll a d12. The rules give you a very complicated way to do that with a d6, to be honest. But they also say in the next sentence, oh, you can also use a d12, and this is what I will do. That's a 4. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the Cloak of Mist. This is worth 4 gold. That's not really great, but it provides me 2 fame points when I keep it until the end of the game, and I get an extra hide action. This is really useful. Yeah, again, actions are always valuable in this game. Awesome! This was our last action of the day. So next we would have to spawn potential monster. So again, we would have to roll our monster die. And this time things will certainly get messy, that's for sure. So that's a 2. So we check out this row here, or those rows here, and then we compare it to the actual region. So we have a cave region here, and the first monster with a cave region would be the serpent. So let's spawn the first serpent here in our region. So we will have to fight, that's for sure, because we are not hidden, but not so fast, as we also have the altar in our region. So we also have to check if the site matches our role, and unfortunately that's the case in this role. So the altar is present, so we would also have to spawn this nasty demon here. The serpent is really not that big of a deal. The demon actually is, because he has some very nasty special ability here, which could kill a character on the roll of 1, 2, 3 basically. Of course we would still roll 2 dice taking the higher one, but this is really a very tough enemy. He can provide us 16 fame points, which is really quite a lot, basically 3 victory points, but he can also take a tremendous hit, so we really have to think about that one. Okay, then we come to the evening phase, which means I really have to fight those guys, and I have to fight all the creatures that are present in my region. So I take the serpent and the demon and place them on the combat sections here. I have to spawn them or deploy them as evenly as possible, so I cannot send both of those enemies to my assassin, but the assassin has a real fair chance to take him out at some point in time. Let's put it that way. He has really a very long reach on his weapon, so he will most likely go first. So I think I will place this guy here, and I think I will place this guy down there, really hoping that he will not get killed during the first round of combat. And I think I will place the serpent on this space here. I still have to think where I would deploy my shield. So I have a full plate. This full blade covers my entire body, and I have to decide where to place my shield, and I think I will put this shield here for the moment. Now I have to decide if I want to thrust, swing or smash. This really doesn't matter what it says. It's just important that when I place my attack jit here, then I can kill the serpent when it is basically there. And I have to announce who I will attack. Of course, in this case, I can only announce the serpent at this point in time. And I also have to make sure how my defensive stance would be. As the serpent has a fight value of M4 here, this means she would deal a medium amount of damage, which is not really a problem for my armor or for my health overall, and her speed is a 4. This is what I really need to consider, because I really want to make sure to hit her. Luckily, in the first round of combat, the reach of your weapon is the, let's say, decision point on who goes first in a fight. She has a reach of 0, so it's only close combat. Luckily, we start the game here with a broadsword, which has a reach of 7. So during the first round of combat, I will certainly go first against this serpent. So I think I will place my attack here onto this row. I will still announce the serpent as my target. There will be a movement or position change after I placed my chit, so for now don't worry. The serpent might well move down there here, to be honest. And I still have to decide on how I want to defend, and I think I will place my fast movement action, so this is also a 4, down there in the middle section. So right now, if she wouldn't move, she would hit me basically or intercept me, but overall that's also not really a big deal. I might take a wound, but yeah, these things are really happening. One thing to make sure is, or what you need to know is, that I cannot use actions that have more than 2 stars or asterisks in total. So I would not be allowed as my fight action to place this T5 fight action, because overall I would then use 3 of those effort asterisks, and this is not allowed. So I will go with those actions. And then for each combat section I will have to roll if they would change the position. So I will go with a serpent first. I would roll just 1 die. And wow, this is really unlucky. So this means the serpent will not move. And this also means I have not hit the serpent here. If my attack would be faster than the serpent would move, she has a movement value of 3, then I would still be able to undercut her. Then it really wouldn't matter where she would be. But unfortunately, I have a 6 seconds attack. She has a move of 3 seconds, so I cannot undercut her. So my attack, which is first because I have the longer reach because of my broadsword, misses basically. But unfortunately, she will directly hit us, because here is our movement chit, which says she has now intercepted me. So this means the attack will go right through. Luckily, I still have my full plate with me. The full plate is a heavy armor, so this is really, really good news. So it will not get damaged, because you can only damage a weapon if it takes the same amount of damage. So whatever a heavy armor should have taken a heavy hit, she only does a medium hit, so nothing bad happens here to the armor. But of course, I still have to take a wound. And I think I will wound this chit here. So you're always wounding your chits basically. If all of your chits are wounded, then you are basically dead. And yeah, out of the game. There is still one more problem. As I've spent 2 effort asterisks in total this round, I still have to fatigue one of my chits that has at least 1 asterisk in it. I can still use the asterisk I was using for this fight round, but I think I will not do that. I still think I need this H4 here, so I think I will fatigue this T5 attack here. This was really a mean little combat round, and there's still one more to go. So there are always 2 rounds of combat in a given battle, but we still have to face the demon here. I think I should have moved him before, but let's do his position roll. So you roll once per combat section here. That's a 2. A 2 says that 1 and 3 switch position. So in this case, this should be okay. So he really misses us, but unfortunately only in respect to the interception, because he's really fast. He has a fight speed of 2. The assassin has a movement value of 4, so he clearly undercuts us in this point in time. And his reach is 17, whereas the assassin only has the reach of 3, so he clearly goes first. And this means he would have to roll now for this missile attack here. And if he would roll a 1, 2, 3, then the assassin is killed right away. And we are lucky, nothing really bad has happened here. And then we come to the second round of combat. Again, we go first here, and I totally blew it as I have wounded the wrong chit here. I really had to go to this T4 chit or attack chit here, and I should have really taken this one instead. Wow, this is really tough, but nothing I can change right now. So I think I will move again. I will attack again here on this row with my relatively slow attack, so I don't have to fatigue anything with this one. And here I think I will also go for relatively slow movement chit. I think I will keep it here. I will also keep the shield there. I could decide to take it there, but the serpent doesn't do that much damage. And I think I will leave the assassin where he is right now. This is really comes down to how good or bad we actually roll. So I think I will not change the positions here. For my folks, we still have to roll on the position table. So first the serpent. Unfortunately, the serpent will go fast first. Yeah, let's see. That's a 5. A 5 means all of the enemies will move 1 step to the left. Again, I would miss this time. Wow, this is really crap. Let's roll for the demon. See, that's a 3. A 3 means 1 and 2 switches position, so he moves here. Again, we are not really lucky, so the worst thing that could happen is that this assassin will get killed because he's still doing fast attacks. And I just noticed it's not that bad because she's moving with a 3, so I was never able to get her with my T4 attacks. Okay, this is something I don't have to worry about. Problem is I didn't hit the serpent, but the serpent will certainly hit me. There is no shield. Again, it will hit the full blade. Again, there is no damage done to the full blade, but I receive another wound. And I think this time I will go for this fast movement chit up there. Wow, I really have to do a lot of resting during the next day, but we still have to resolve the fight against the demon. Again, the demon will undercut the assassin, so we don't have to intercept him. Let's roll on his table and really hope that the highest die is not a 1, 2, 3. No, again, we are lucky. Nothing really bad has happened here. Okay, this was the evening phase. So the monsters will stay where they are. They will only be basically put back to the pool at the end of day 7 here. Yeah, but this was really a very tough round, that's for sure. So we have 2 wounds, 1 fatigue chit, so we really have to do a lot of resting during the next day. And I think I will end my playthrough for today. I really hope you were able to get behind the mechanics of the combat. The combat is really nice. I like it a lot. It's tough, that's for sure, but you really have a lot of possibilities. Of course, it's also a lot of die roll. Will the target stay where it is and such, but I really do like it. And pretty sure the next time or the next combat I will show you, things will get much clearer for you. Hope to see you soon in one of my next video, possibly the next episode of my playthrough of Magic Realm Light 30. And yeah, until then, bye bye.